Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is day 10 of our 12 Days of Christmas in July series. Now, if you're just joining in, I will leave links in the description below so you can see the first 9 days. So I'm very excited to announce that this will be the bestest day of the series, as we are being joined by my very dear friend Ginger from My Sister Scrapper. Not only is she amazingly talented, but she is a lovely person all around. So Ginger picked the theme for our project today, which is a loaded envelope or pocket. So I think that's just absolutely brilliant. So make sure you go over to her channel and enjoy her video and leave her some love for her project. And if you're coming to me from Ginger's channel, welcome. I know she has created an amazing pocket for you, so I hope that you enjoy mine as well. So let's get started. For my loaded envelope, I picked The Story of Christmas collection from Echo Park. It's very sweet and has mostly traditional colors and a couple of very whimsical images I'm working in. I'm also going to create the base of my loaded pocket with a sheet of 110-pound cardstock. So I just have one piece here and I cut it to be 6 inches wide for the base, and then of the piece that is remaining, this is 2.5 inches, and we're gonna use that to wrap the pocket. So for my first piece, this is going to be now cut to 9 inches long. I'm scoring it at 6 inches and then 6 3/4, and that's going to give me a 3/4 of an inch depth in the pocket. I put a little bit of adhesive tape on here so I can pull that off. Here is the piece that I cut off of the side, and so it's the full 11 inches, and I put my score lines in so that I could line this up right to the bottom of that pocket. And now you can see that I put my score lines in for the sides right at the edge. So I lined up this portion where these two meet on one of the lines on the score tool and scored there, and then I moved it over just slightly and made my next score on that side so that when I fold in the pieces, it'll have a nice even fold. The next score on that is going to be 3/4 of an inch. That will accommodate the amount that we've left for the depth of the pocket. And then what is remaining, I've just added some adhesive tape to. I can wrap that around the back now and secure this flap between the layers of the base and the pattern paper we're adding to finish it. So let's just flip that over here and add our back, and that creates a nice and sturdy base for our layers of pattern papers. I'm going to use this beautiful holly pattern to cover the back and the inside back of the pocket, and this is matted with a beautiful green cardstock. This is the Jelly Bean green from Cardstock Warehouse, and that will be a border for all of the elements for this pocket. So there is the inside added, and then for the back it's just the same, and you can see that we're sandwiching the flaps from the pocket in between so that it will have a nice finished edge. This also helps to add some sturdiness. I've picked a diagonal red stripe, like a candy cane stripe. I'm using that same Jelly Bean green matting all throughout for a consistent look, and I just cut that to measure the front of my pocket. This is a good time now to add my trim. So I'm just gonna secure that tinsel trim right onto the bottom with a bit of hot glue, pressing that in as I go along so that the glue will work up into the texture of that tinsel. That way I'll be sure it will be nice and secure. To embellish the front part of the pocket, I'm going to include this small white doily. This is just cut from a crisp white cardstock. I used the 110 pound on this because I wanted it to hang off the top just a bit, so I wanted it to be nice and sturdy. I'm going to cover that with this image. This was part of one of the journal cards, and I just fussy cut this portion of the image out, and I put it on more of that heavy cardstock so that I could include some metal eyelets and put a little bit of twine through there for extra detail. That's popped up on some foam spacers, so we can begin to add a little bit of dimension. And I'm just sticking that right down in the center, and that will overlap the top just a bit. Here are the 2 small flower arrangements I've prepared, and so I'm just going to add those at a slight angle so that I can keep all of the fragile bits right on the front cover. And these are some flowers that I created with the Spellbinders poinsettia die and finished off with some stamens from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I finished those flowers off with some loopy twine bows and some small glitter stars. So that's all for the front of the pocket. Let's work on the inserts. So I'm going to build my insert in order of back to front and in order of size tallest to shortest, because I want to be able to see all of these fun layers when all of the inserts are added to the pocket. So my first layer is going to be a folded insert, and I finished the inside with the coordinating pattern papers. I'm still using that same cardstock, and I can finish the front like the front of a greeting card. So this insert happens to be 5.5 inches, and it will be the tallest element for the pocket, and it will still show the background of the pocket base. So we get to keep that one nice layering of pattern paper. Here is the next layer. This is the beautiful holly on wood grain with poinsettias, and those tie in to the flowers on the front of the pocket. I've pulled another strip of that candy cane stripe to finish the bottom, and that is separated with that cardstock to keep the patterns from looking busy. So here's another doily. This one is from Cherryland Designs, and I've got that cut from white cardstock again, and you see that I am focusing the placement a little bit to the right because I have additional layers that I need to leave room for. Here is a journal card, part of that collection. I cut it with a die that was a circle and then cut the next size up with the cardstock. So it still has a nice border. It has a little bit of the image clipped off because my die was too large, but that's okay. We're gonna hide that with a sticker image. So that's going to go right in the center, and you can see that I have added that with a foam spacer because we want to build dimension. Remember, we have about 3/4 of an inch of pocket to fill, so this is a good way to do that. And I'm going to tuck in a quick little die cut glitter star here to the bottom, just a extra detail layer. So the focal image here is going to be this really adorable snowman, and this was part of the sticker set. I adhered that to cardstock and cut that back out, and then I added my foam spacers to one side because remember, this is popped up on the foam, so we need to support the section that will come over that edge. And then for the side that does touch, I just added regular adhesive, and that will be lots of room in there for pictures and journaling if you want to use this as an untraditional kind of scrapbook or memory keeping. Okay, to finish off our first insert, I have created a small bow from paper cardstock, and this was a Fun Stamper Journey baby bow die set. It's a layered bow, and then I finished the inside with a little bit of stickles. I don't know how well that shows, but I'm just going to adhere it right to the top of this insert, just using a little hot glue to make sure that stays on, and I'll tuck that into the pocket. So here's our first insert in the back, and we can work on the next layer. So this insert is a little bit smaller. We're just gradually decreasing our size so that we can have all of our embellishment showing. This is a top folded insert, And once again, I finished the insides and back with the coordinating pattern paper. And I'm going to add another one of the journal cards on this as well. This one I kept as a full size and used that green matting to frame that sweet snowman image. This is put on foam spacers as well, so here's a little bit more dimension. Now I've got another of those stars, so I'm just adding that with a little bit of hot glue because I want that to be adhered very well to hold the next layer. This is a ticket from the sticker sheet. Again, I put that on the cardstock and cut it back out, and I put the bottom portion on spacers so that I can accommodate the room I need for this clip. So this is just a little binder clip, and I have already attached that with some Tombow, so I know that will be nice and secure. And I'm going to add a little bit more hot glue as well because I want to make sure I get that adhesive down into the texture of that glitter paper. And that is just going right about here. That is a fun detail for the front of this insert. We can tuck that into the pocket now as well. Okay, for the last insert, I've got a tag that was die cut from the pattern paper with a stitched edge, and I put a core of the 110-pound cardstock inside so it'll be nice and sturdy. I finished the back as well, and then I just looped a little bit of coordinating ribbon here and tied that off with a silver metallic twine and finished it with some very tiny jingle bells and a couple of metal charms. They're just festive bells and snowflakes. For this tag, I want to add another one of the doilies that I had for the front, and then another image. So this comes from a journal card, and I fussy cut that image out so that it would fit on there nicely and show enough of that doily as a border. I'm popping up that fussy cut image on a foam spacer to build dimension. And now you can see I've got my charms spaced just so they overlap just a bit. I want to finish this tag off with a tiny wooden clothespin. So if you want to include a picture or a small piece of ephemera on the back without gluing it down, you can just attach it that way. So here is the final insert. Now I've also created a couple of small embellishments to go on our pocket and inserts as well, just to make it a little bit more fun. So the process for making this easy clip was to take a sticker from the sticker sheet, and I picked one that was pretty easy to cut out. There isn't a lot of inside angles. I added that to thick white cardstock and cut that out, and then I just tacked it down to another piece of cardstock with a little bit of double-sided adhesive, and then cut back around that so that I would have the perfect shape in the back to disguise the back of that sticker. And then I added it with foam spacers between and sandwiched the top of this clip into it so that it will hold it very securely. And I'm just going to add it to the back page of the first insert. So that was the largest one, and that will just tuck on there. You can use that to add your pictures and mementos as well. And then last but not least is a small rosette that I created with the collection paper to coordinate with the other silver embellishments. I topped it with a scalloped edge circle, some more of the pattern paper, and another sticker from the sticker sheet. So I've just added that with a little bit of scrap paper and adhered all the way around on the sides and in between, so that will hold that clip very well. And this one I'm just going to position right on to the back, so that will fill in that space nicely. So that is all for day 10 of our 12 Days of Christmas in July series. If you enjoyed this project, make sure you come back tomorrow for day 11. Don't forget to head over to Ginger's channel. There's a link in the description, so head over there and make sure you give her some love for her project. If you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe. And as always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye.